Let's focus on one of the most visual and dynamic parts of the IELTS exam, writing task 1, maps and plans. Whether you're looking at a city changing over 20 years or a small office floor plan, these skills will help you reach that band 7 or higher. First, let's look at the task requirements. You're typically given 2 or 3 maps showing an area at different points in time. For example, a town in 2010 versus a proposed plan for 2025. Sometimes it's a floor plan of a building. Your goal is to describe the main changes objectively. You have 20 minutes to write at least 150 words, though I usually recommend aiming for 170 to 190 words to ensure you've covered enough detail. A high-scoring report is always well organised, so we follow a 4-part structure. The introduction, where we paraphrase the task, the overview, which is our summary, body paragraph 1 for the first set of details, and body paragraph 2 for the remaining details. Notice there's no conclusion here. The overview does that job for you, but I've put summary in brackets as you may feel one sentence can conclude the writing. If you remember nothing else from today, remember this. The overview is the most important paragraph. Without a clear overview, it is nearly impossible to score above a band 6. So you should write this immediately after your intro. Focus on the big picture. Is the area transforming from rural to urban? Is it expanding or being demolished? Don't give specifics yet, just describe the general trend. Grammar in maps can be tricky because you often have to jump between tenses. If all maps are from the past, use past simple and past perfect. If one is now, you might use present perfect to show a change that has just been completed. For future plans, use is going to be or will be. You can pause the video here and study this table, which gives you some examples of what you could write. Most importantly, use the passive voice. For example, it was built instead of they built, because the action is more important than who did it. Let's look at some examples in action. In the present, you might say the car park has been replaced by a bike storage area. In the future, the number of buildings will be increased. And for the past, a new roundabout was constructed. Notice how these sentences are precise and they use strong verbs that collocate correctly for maps. Remember to use a mixture of verbs and nouns for variety and try to include some adjectives. Variety is key for your vocabulary score. So instead of just saying changed, this changed, that changed, use specific categories. For buildings, use erected or demolished. For nature, you can use chopped down or cleared. For infrastructure, use widened or modernised, and all of these general words can be used too. This will show the examiner that you have a wide range of English. To add even more variety, let's look at how you can turn those verbs into nouns. Instead of saying the area was constructed, say the construction of the area. This allows you to use different sentence structures. Study the suffix table here. Again, you can pause so you can try and remember the spelling of these endings. Shun, meant build your noun forms such as renovation, improvement, or removal. You must use a compass for accuracy. You are usually given one. Look for it on the page. Sometimes it's not there, then you don't need to worry. Don't say at the top, say to the north or in the northeast, for example, and practice phrases like running from east to west or diagonally opposite. These small details help the examiner to see the map through your words. Always check the key or legend. This is the box of information. So the labels provided like births, dormitories or humanities blocks are there to help you. So use this specific language in your report to assure you are being accurate to the data provided. You can slightly change the wording. For example, dormitories, you could say the places where people sleep. Use strong sentences to organize your ideas. Have a mix of simple and complex structures to add variety. Not all changes are equal, so use adjectives to show the scale. Was it a minor modification or a significant transformation? Use phrases like underwent very little change or remained largely the same to describe areas that stayed constant. They're just as important as the changes. And this shows that you can compare and contrast effectively. How do you plan your body paragraphs then? Well, there are three main strategies. First one, geographical. You can group the information by north versus south. The type of change, for example, group all housing together and then all nature together, or road changes and then the buildings. And the third one is time-based. You can describe map 1 entirely and then the changes in map 2. Choose the one that makes the most sense for the specific maps that you're given. When you start the test, follow this workflow. Identify the changes first. Choose your strategy. Write your introduction and that very important overview, and then move on to the details. Finally, always review. Check your tenses, your punctuation, and make sure you used a variety of words. Two major pitfalls to avoid. First, don't try to write about every tiny detail. You'll run out of time. Second, don't just list things. Focus on accuracy and using a variety of grammar. Comparisons are what will get you the high marks. To wrap up, paraphrase the intro, summarize in the very important overview, describe using directions, locations, and compare the 2 time periods. If you follow this system, you are well on your way to success. Thank you for joining this lesson. If you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It takes me a really long time to create these videos, but I do it out of a passion for teaching and helping you to achieve your English goals. It really means a lot to me if you leave me a positive comment. For more IELTS and PTE tips, make sure to subscribe and follow. There are many useful lessons on the test, as well as general grammar and vocab, reels to help you with your English. I'm also in the process of constructing digital materials that will help you with that academic level of vocabulary. So please get in touch if you're interested in those. The next lesson will feature a full sample answer using the techniques that we've looked at today. And don't forget, you can always DM me for private lessons or IELTS Writing Task checks. Good luck with your studies and see you in the next one.